All right, Todd, take it away. What's going on in the market
well,
these
thanks,
days?
everybody. Well, lots going on in the market. Actually, it's shifting. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're going over the Greater Phoenix Metropolitan Market Statistics for the week ending March 23rd. Here we go. This past week, we had a 79 days closed on market, a 4.02 month supply. Our absorption rate is at 24.88. Average list price this past week, $786,717, and average sale price this past week, $657,105. List price to sale price retention, 97.47. Active inventory up 1.3% to 26,624, pending at 5,039, and closed units month to date at 3,016. New listings taken this past week. We're staying there. 2,420 this past week. 92 days on market for active and 80 for closed. Lower left-hand side, we have our price ranges of all the available property in the marketplace. So this tells you the number of units in each of the segmented price ranges, the days on market, and the percentage of the entire inventory that segment makes up. So again, if you look at the 200 to 800,000, obviously that is the highest gross percentage of the entire inventory. So under 600,000 is at 66%, 600 to $1 million is 19.11, and 1 million and up is 14.89, and those numbers didn't change. They're within 0.1% this past week, so pretty stable from that perspective. New listings has been doing really well, adding new listings. I'm expecting this to be over 10,000 for the month. We're sitting at 2,420 this past week versus 377 the week before. But again, we're consistently ahead of, we were 2322 in 2024. That didn't come out right. But we are significantly ahead of both of those markets as far as people confidence, sellers' confidence, putting their homes on the marketplace, maybe walking away from those 3% mortgages, maybe in some type of life event forces them to. I'm taking a look at active inventories now, currently at 26,624. There's 761 coming soon properties, 19,704 single family distressed. Non-distressed. That would be very bad if it was the other way around. 2,953 new home construction properties, 26,179 total non-distressed. Our inventory below that, as you can see, the non-distressed inventory is making up 98.3% of the total, meaning 1.7% is distressed. Looking at and those are the distressed ones that everybody knows about. We're sitting at 5,039 for pending. That is a good number. Pending, remember, this we use to determine the buyers in the marketplace. So when this is a strong, high number, that means there's a lot of people. And of course, you can see this happen here because it's week over week. And then maybe next week, which you didn't realize this week, all of a sudden you got more buyers calling you. Your listing gets a lot more attention than it was getting. Why? Everybody wants to know. And this kind of helps you out, understand just what's coming if you're paying attention to it. 4,511 last year, 4,342 the year before. So basically anywhere from 5 to 650 more buyers in the marketplace right now than there was a year ago. 4,701 is where we're at month to date. Still a little too early to determine that. But just looking at this number, normally we're kind of neck and neck even when we finish in the green. For the end of the month, we do more than we did the year before. Normally, this time of the month, we're still struggling right around those same numbers. Well, something's going on because right now the market is almost 5% ahead of where we were last year. Taking a look at month supply, and again, that is closed units, let me remind you. These are closed units, not necessarily just open escrows. So month supply is at 4.02, continuing to drop. We're actually below the month supply than we were a year ago. We were at 4.39% a year ago. Now we're at 4%. So you know what's potentially coming, Mike, if that continues that way. That
Not here yet, though, right?
That's a podcast internal thing, yeah. But no, my favorite thing is to tell Mike it's a seller's market, right? But again, and Mike's favorite thing is to tell me it's a buyer's market. So because of this number being 4.02, the market is still acting as though it's a buyer's market, and that may happen all year long. Although it's close enough that if the property's priced right away and it's in the right location, it's gonna engage right away, and there won't be as much of a price discount. Talk about that just a sec. So average or the median sale price did take a jump of about 10,000, and it hasn't been 475 in a long time. So this could be indicative that all of a sudden our prices no longer going down? Are buyers no longer getting the same negotiation on those properties that they were getting in prior markets? We'll continue to follow that trend and keep you abreast of what's going on. The market is continuing. Well, of course it is. We're going into our best-selling season of the year. So seasonally. So we're going, and I don't mean seasonally meaning summer. It's going to be a hot market this year. We are also expecting there to be a lot of rain this year for monsoon. So stay tuned for my weather forecast later. But the fact is just that it's that will help. It really will, because it just touches another sense. Last piece here is our list price to sale price retention. So 97.47 is pretty similar. Week over week, the sellers were negotiating about the same, but what this isn't is lower than 97%. So now all of a sudden we're seeing that sellers are all of a sudden keeping that same 2.2 to 2.8%, 2.5% that is statistically average for the last 5 years. So that's a good sign, because 2021 and 2022, which were banner years, were included in those numbers. So as you can see, even looking at the slide, in the goldenrod in 2024 was 98. So sellers were giving up, weren't even giving up that much, even from that perspective. So as a buyer's agent, this is going to be a tough one. To the victor goes the spoils. The way you write your offer and the way you present your offer to the listing agent is going to determine whether or not you get it, your buyer ends up with a reasonable price on this or not. So, follow Mike's guidelines from a buyer's perspective and go in, but don't go in hot, because if there's more than one offer, you may miss out. So there's the stats for this week. Hope everybody has a great week. Let me know.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research over the weekend, and I learned that typically over the last 20 years, the wetter the monsoon seasons are normally take place during a buyer's market. So there's a huge correlation there.
Dang,
So
thanks, brother.
Yeah.